This is the Forward Motion Business Show with Professor Ken and Professor Paul A. Marino, broadcasting from Unilatina International College. Hit new heights. Start with Forward Motion.
Hey, good morning. This is Professor Ken.
And I'm Professor Paul Marino.
Welcome to the Forward Motion Business Show. We're recording from our home offices in the middle of this corona crisis. Everyone is working from home, keeping safe social distances. So Paul and I are practicing the same, and we hope you're all healthy, safe, and comfortable in your home as well. So today's show, what we wanted to sort of cover was, obviously we are, as business owners, we are all affected by the virus, not only as business owners, but every individual, not only here in the US, but globally would be affected by the virus. But this is a business show, so we want to keep it focused on what a business can do, what a small entrepreneur or what a small business can do during this crisis. It seems like it's a very difficult time. We know that, and it seems like it's very negative, and you could be very negative. But I think if you manage through the crisis, if you can get through the crisis as a business owner, and as a business leader, and even as a team, if you have a team of employees, you can come out more successfully at the end of all this. Paul, what do you think about that?
Well, one of my students did a brilliant presentation in the classroom from an article in the Wall Street Journal several weeks ago, and the article was Embracing the Uncertainty Monster, taking advantage of the new dynamics that this uncertainty has put in front of us. And I think there's a number of things businesses should be doing during this time to come out stronger. One of them certainly would be improving your digital platform, or creating a digital platform if you don't. Now's a great time to upgrade your website, but more importantly, upgrade that portion of your website that is interactive, so you stay in touch with your clients. I know you're a big fan of that.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, before this crisis, you look at some staggering numbers, and that's what I do. Obviously, that's what eCan Links, my company, does: social media, growth marketing, and building websites and things like that. So we try to work with small businesses all the time with that. But before the crisis, the staggering numbers are, I think, about 30 million total small businesses in the US. And believe it or not, 40% of those small businesses didn't really have a website, although 60% of them might have been practicing social media, which even 60% practicing social media would be kind of crazy, because shouldn't everyone be on social media right now? And if you're a business, that's the way to communicate it. So I think we really understand the opportunity now, as everybody now is forced to go online. I mean, every store out there, for the most part, if you're not a pharmacy or a grocery store, right? Every store, brick and mortar store, is closed, more or less, if you're not selling food or medical supplies. Restaurants, of course, are doing takeout, things of that nature. So everyone's closed because of these shutdowns. So where do you go if you're a consumer? We are a consumer nation. We like to spend money, even though we might not have money coming in. Some of us still want to spend money, and to do that now is online. 2019, the stats came in a few weeks ago. We did about $8 billion online in e-commerce. I would venture to guess that in 2020, we're going to blow past that number, because now it's not just the millennials, it's not just the Gen X's that'll be buying things online. It's also going to be the baby boomers, right, who are affected, who are buying it. So now I think everyone is going to be moving online, and if your website is not up to date, and if it's not modern enough, and if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, you will be at a disadvantage, right?
Well, not only that, it's not enough, in my opinion, to have a website or have a presence on social media. If you read some of the latest marketing books like Contagious, they'll tell you that the content has to be remarkable. Like you and I were talking the other day about Does It Blend, how he did that remarkable YouTube video with his blender, and he blended a cell phone. So you should be thinking today, how can I stay in touch with my clients? How can I attract new clients basically by word of mouth? But how can I put up remarkable content that will get me the hits and the clicks that I want? So when I come out of this, I could throw a big party, or I could throw a big event and get back up on my feet as fast as I can.
Yeah. So what can we do if you're a small business owner right now? What can you do right now to keep the doors open, to keep the cash register ringing? So let's take a restaurant, which are being hit tremendously right now, right? Because they can't put people in the restaurant, they can't put people in the seats. Hopefully they move their business successfully online or through ordering, but it still reduces your revenue because ordering, is a complicated process as well. So one idea I think, and we talked about this, is gift cards. And there are companies out there, and I'm an affiliate with this company called Square. That's Square. You can actually set up an account for free and get electronic gift cards made if you're a business with Square. And if you have an electronic gift card, I would set that up and I would do put together your own type of deal, like spend $40 and we'll give you $50 worth of food, and then send that out to your social network community, and send it out to your email list community, and try to get them to buy in. And Paul, we talked about this earlier, you're calling it like futures, right? Let's see how we can keep the doors open. And I think if you're in the local business, you do want to support them, because let's say you go there twice a month or once a month. You do want to try to support them. And that could be a really good way for a business to generate some community interest, some community support, and put some money in the register. What do you think about that idea?
Well, I was very impressed with a restaurant on the beach called Yardbird, and they used to throw these midnight parties. There would be dinners, private dinners, where they would shut the restaurant. Only those people who had pre-subscribed could come in, and they would bring in a chef, and they would put together an amazing dinner. Well, if you're a restaurant, it's very easy for you to sell a prepaid dinner that's not going to take place for the next 30, 60 days. And that's one way of getting cash flow in the door and creating a remarkable event for the clients who follow you. And then hopefully they'll mention it to their friends and it'll go viral, to do something different. It has to be remarkable. It has to be something that is not being done every day, that people are going to buy into it.
Yeah, and so I would say the gift cards are an important thing because it allows the community to participate. And I would make an appeal. If I owned a restaurant, I would be on there. I'd do a quick video, just like we're doing here. You could do it off your computer, you could do it off your phone, and say, hey, this is Professor Ken. I own the pizzeria that everyone comes to here on Miramar Parkway. And as you know, we're all struggling as restaurants, but I want you to please support us so I can keep my employees happy, keep them employed, give them a paycheck, and also supply you the food that you've come to love. If you could, I have a gift card program. Please consider contributing, buying. If you buy a $50 gift card, I'll give you a free dessert, or I'll give you a $10 credit towards your next purchase, something like that, to get people to come in and buy, because we still have to eat. Even
Right.
during this crisis, we still have to eat. And right now in Broward County, they put the curfew on. In Miami, they put the curfew on, so you can't be out. And then let's face it, even though I've gone to the grocery store and I picked up some groceries, if I can get it delivered, it's probably better right now. So how do you do that? You got to get out there and you got to reach. And if you're on social media at all right now, and if you're not, then you need to get on today. You cannot wait. But reach out, even if you only have 40 likes or 40 friends or fans that like your page, send it to those 40 people and ask them, make an appeal, ask those 40 people to please send it to 2 or 3 other people that you know, and let them take advantage of it. Because now we're talking about creating our own viral marketing. And I think all of us right now want to support everybody. That's one of the things that we always see during crisis. We come together um, remarkably well, no matter where we are in the United States. And I think we all want to support our local restaurants, and that's a good way of doing it. Get started doing that, and at least that could generate some revenue, right? It might not generate the 100% you need, but it could generate the 30%. And right now, 30% is better than zero, and that's what you have to think about, right?
Well, we talked about coupon codes, you and I, for a number of our clients, and we use it quite proficiently. So if you're a restaurant and you're sending out these, call it gift cards to your 40 or 50 regular clients, and you say to them, use this gift card, and if your friend calls in and refers your name, we'll give you a free gift card.
Right. Yeah, you've got to use the power of connectivity right now. You got to use social media right now to help you build the business. So listen, my sales pitch to you, everyone out there, I can help you do that. My company does it inexpensively, but you don't need someone like me to do that. You can do that yourself, and it's free, by the way. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm not speaking about taking out advertisements. That's costed out, of course. But you can post things, and I would do videos. I would do a very quick 15, 30-second video, and I would make it authentic, and I would just introduce yourself, introduce the restaurant, explain that you have 5 employees that you want to get through this crisis. You need the community's help, and to reward them, you're going to give them a $10 credit towards a future purchase or something like that. So incentivize them to come in and support you. I wouldn't be surprised if everybody does it. So that's idea number one. I saw something on the news too, and we're speaking again for restaurants here for a moment. I saw something on the news, and I can't remember the city. It might have been Washington, in the DC area. There was someone who got 4 or 5 restaurants together to make food for the first responders, for the police, the firemen, and of course now the nurses and doctors that are taking care of all the patients, because they're overwhelmed with patients right now. So that's one way that you can tie into the community as well. Create a food program, and there's donations. You can collect donations, $10 per person or something like that, and you can help support the community, and then also sell food, lunches, because everybody has to eat. Even if you're in the hospital and you're taking care of all these patients, you do have to have meals. I know they're having a tough time right now, so it'll be a way to support them. So that's a good idea, I think, that ties in the community, that ties into the professionals, and also could generate revenue for you, depending upon the cost of the meals and things like that.
There's plenty of ways you could do that. I mean, you could do that with shut-ins. You could make donations where you're actually delivering food to shut-ins.
Yeah.
I saw a restaurant, I don't know where it was from, they're actually doing cooking classes online, so you can see how they make the food. And then they sell it as takeout.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Another way you could do is a curbside. What about if you took that idea, you did a video, you did an online like this, and by the way, this is free. We're using Zoom now, but you can live stream right through YouTube. If you have a YouTube account, you could live stream for free, so it doesn't cost you anything. So you really need to get that set up. If you don't have a camera, go on Amazon, go wherever it is, Best Buy, wherever you want to go online, buy a camera, connect it to your computer, make sure your internet connection is good. I happen to have a mic too that helps with the sound, which is good, and a pair of headphones that helps here, but you don't need all that. And create a video, and it takes 15, 30 seconds to create a video, because everybody wants to see the video. And the key takeaway when you create a video is you have to make it authentic, right? It has to be real, just like our conversation is real right now. And people will listen to you, and people will want to participate in what you have to say. So, Paul, to your point, I think if you did a video and you said, okay, today I'm going to cook, I like cooking, let's call spaghetti with meat sauce, spaghetti meatballs. And this is how I would do this. This is my secret recipe for making meatballs. And you show a couple things. And then you say, in fact, I'm making a batch now. If you want us to deliver it, just this $9.99 per meal. Just you can even chat it on the video, or you can send me an email. Here's my email, professorken@myrestaurant.com, and or go on our website and order it, and we'll send you a mail in the next 30 minutes as soon as I get done cooking it. I mean, that would be a pretty cool idea, wouldn't it?
Oh, I think it would be great. Imagine if you're a pizza parlor, you can make a different pizza each week or a different pizza each night. Show them,
Sure.
tonight is our meatball pizza, tomorrow night is our sausage pizza. Have a pop-up on your video where your phone number is there. They can call in and order, and either they pick it up or you deliver.
Yeah. So, we could we need to get creative. I mean, this is forcing us to go online. It's forcing us to be creative. Like I said, if you're in the restaurant business, you have to eat. People have to eat. And unfortunately, restaurants it's a tough business, right? It's one of the toughest. I mean, I love business, but I have to say that's the toughest business there is out there. I mean, I read a stat that they expect 10 to 15% of all restaurants in the U.S. to close because of this, because some of them are week to week, and it's a very tough business. I mean, it's a 15-hour a day job, and it's you got to know the front of the house, the back of the house, and it's just you could be. I heard something on one of the newscasts where they said you could serve 30 meals and everybody likes all 30 meals, but meal 31 is not good, and then all of a sudden your restaurant starts suffering. So it's a tough business. So you have to get creative in what you do. So another idea I had for a restaurant business, and this is pretty interesting. Right now there's a big trend going around for the work environments, because all work environments now are moving on Zoom, right? Or moving on this call type of platform. So they're actually doing something called a happy hour, a video happy hour at work, where 20 team members will be on a Zoom call just like this, and they have a drink in front of them. I mean, here it's 8:30 in the morning, so I have my coffee with me. But they'll have their whatever it is, their wine, or I guess we'll go back to the old martini days, right? Having a martini at lunch, or whatever it was from way back when. But what about an idea like that, where a restaurant could, and I think in some cities they're allowing the restaurants to deliver alcohol, right? I'm not quite sure of the laws and regulations there. But what about figure out a way where a restaurant could host something like that, and say, hey, we'll send you dessert. We'll send everybody on the call. Give us the name of everybody, the address of everybody, and we'll send you, whatever it is, an apple pie, or we'll send you a bottle of wine, and everybody could log in and get to meet everybody. So it could be almost like an online social gathering, and it could be friends, it could be strangers, it could be anybody, and sort of make it a community place online. And that would be free to do, and it could actually sell some product.
You know who that would be great for? The craft breweries. The craft breweries have a very specific problem. Once they make a batch, the clock is ticking. That batch has to be sold and consumed within a certain period of time unless it's canned. So if you're a craft brewery, imagine having a beer fest where the entire thing is online. You pick up your beer, or they ship your beer to you, and all of a sudden you log in at a certain time, a certain date. You have this giant online party sampling different types of beers.
I think that's a great idea. Why wouldn't you do that, right? Because let's do it. I mean, I know your son's in that business. That's a great idea. I mean, think about it. Why, if I am a beer enthusiast, and I like trying different types of craft beer, and I can get the beer delivered to me, and then I can share my excitement with another person online like this, and we could chat, make it a 45-minute, 30-minute session, whatever it is. That'll be a pretty interesting idea. It'll sell some beer, and it'll get some some human interaction, because at the end of the day, I'm a marketing guy. We talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I think he nailed it. And he has this pyramid of, oops, sorry about that. He has a pyramid of needs. And in that pyramid of needs is obviously the bottom. Every human needs food, water, and shelter. But then as you move up that pyramid, you need to have that social connection. And that social connection is important. So wouldn't it be great if you could do something like that? So yeah, I think the bear clubs, you could do it with wine. What about the foodies? We talked about the restaurants. What if you got 20 people together online and you had a way to eat online together, to share a meal online together, right?
Around. Remember, as a kid, you had your meal around a big table with your family.
Right.
So create a virtual table.
Absolutely. I did. It was our birthday this week. My mother-in-law shares the same day as a birthday with me, and the family. I've been introduced to Zoom for quite some time in the business world, and I actually use it. I think it's a great product. There's several out there, but my preference is Zoom. And I actually set up a birthday Zoom call for all of us. And there were 16 of us, 16 different Zoom entries in a birthday call. And we sang happy birthday, mostly for my mother-in-law, who's 76 years old. So she's considered to be in that. She doesn't have any health conditions, but she's elderly, so she's considered to be a higher risk. So she's practicing safe distancing now. But we did that. It was pretty cool. I mean, we had, most of them were never on a call like this before. And I even had to walk my mother-in-law through the call. You had to set it up and how to do it, but she got the hang of it. And it was a really interesting thing. We spent a half an hour doing that. So what if a restaurant could do that? Let's do, we mentioned pizza. Okay, we'll send you a pie out to everybody, a new pie with pineapple and ham or whatever it is. Everybody enjoy it. Get to meet your neighbor online and do something like that, right? That'll be pretty cool.
Now, remember, if you do that, though, whether you're a pizza parlor, whether you're a craft brewery, whatever your business is, in order for that video to go viral, which is what you want, in order for those people to talk about it and send it to their friends, you have to do something remarkable. So it has to be an unusual pizza. It has to be an unusual party. It has to be, if you're a brewery, maybe it's a special brew that you put together, a premium brew that they can't get, that it's only being offered during this time of home confinement. You have to be remarkable. And remember, remarkable means making a remark about. You want people to remark about what you're doing, so they'll mention it to their friends, they'll send it to their friends, and hopefully it'll go viral.
Yeah, and just thinking through that, right now, we have all these artists, the performers doing these concerts from homes and things like that, which is pretty cool. Maybe find a local musician or local band, which you can connect online and say, hey, listen, we're throwing a dinner party, an online dinner party. We would love for you to perform during our Zoom meeting or sing during our Zoom meeting while we all eat and create that environment. Yeah, it's not the same ambience. We get that, but I think we're all looking for that substitute right now. And I think that's a pretty cool substitute to being indoors. And that's a pretty cool idea. Find a local band or a local someone who performs for you, or maybe even a comedian. That would be pretty cool to watch a comedian while you eat and combine it. Make an online virtual environment where you can do something. So that's a great idea for a business now to do something like that. So that's for the restaurant world. I also think in the same concept, you can use this virtual world now to connect with your customers if you're selling anything. I'm planning next week. I'm doing 2 webinars on how to be productive and how to get through the crisis if you're a small business, regardless of what type of business it is. And some of the things we're talking about is creative stuff like we're talking about now, but it is reaching out to your consumer and some of those free things like, keep in mind that Facebook does have a program now opened, and you can go on the Facebook to get the grants up to $3,500 for not only advertising but support. Now we have the new bill that was just granted, so there's funding there. The Small Business Development Council has funding. Every city that you're in has funding that you can get some support to. There's crowdfunding. People are supporting businesses that way as well. So there is a lot of ways that you can survive this as a business. But the most important thing, this is the time when you need to connect with your consumer, right? You need to connect with your consumer. And if this is the only tool of communication that we have, then we need to be connecting to a consumer through a video call or some type of video or chat or something along the lines like that.
If you believe the experts, and I do, that we're going to come out of this stronger, we're going to have a V-type recovery, which I certainly hope we will, you need to be positioning yourself to come out of this as strongly as possible. And if you're a small business and you're not using these tools now, you stay quiet, you're gonna miss the wave. You need to be positioning yourself now.
Right.
You need to be riding, like the article said, like the student presented, you need to be riding that uncertainty monster to position yourself to come out of this as strong as you possibly can.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm doing as a small business owner too. I'm looking at the tools that I have, and I made a deal this week, and I'm working on another one with some tool providers so I can offer these services out to my customers, my clients coming out of this. One is an online review tool to help businesses manage their reputations or get better online. I'm actually trying to work with a company now out of Europe who develops these websites a little differently than what we do here in the US. And I'm developing these partnerships now because when we come out of it, and we will, it may be May, hopefully it's not June, but we will come out of this. You have to be ready to go. Now's the time you have to be ready to go. It's tough, it's depressing, it's heartbreaking, and then it's sad if you know someone who's succumbed to the disease or has the disease who was ill. It could be it could destroy your morale and turn your world upside down, and that's what we're dealing right now. But the struggle is part of it, and every business faces struggles. Right now, it's just crazy virus, but there's always a struggle for a business, and it's how you come out of the crisis that makes you successful. So you have to do some things. You have to be proactive as a business owner, right? That's the key. And it's the online community now. Like you said, Paul, when we opened this whole discussion up, if you don't have a good online game, you're not going to be in a good shape. You're not going to be in good shape. You need to have a good online game because this is just the beginning of all of us. Like you said, you mentioned as we were getting ready for the call, you mentioned the black swan type thing, right? But this is now the present. We are now moving more online, and we will be moving more online in the next 5 years because this virus may not be the only virus we have to deal with. We'll have to know how to do this again because most likely it will happen again, as everyone is saying, right?
Well, the skills that we're learning today are going to be common. All the stuff that we're learning today because of the virus, the online skills, they're going to become common skills, and they're going to be part of our business protocols going forward. We've mentioned that on prior shows. So now's the time to learn those skills. Now's the time to learn how to be better deploying those skills and creating an online tribe that will follow you.
Yeah, and it's important. So listen, we want to be able to bring this show to you on a regular basis. We're obviously not in the Unilatina International College studio like we planned, and we only were able to do 2 shows before the crisis hit. So from our perspective, the timing was off, but we're making it work. And that's the key thing, is how do you get past that and how do you make it work? So we like you to continue to follow us. We'll try to give you some updates and work with our local business chambers here and understand what's going on in the local business and maybe share some of those things with you. But remember to catch us every week at the Forward Motion Business Show, and you can find us there at that.com. So until then, we like you to stay safe, stay healthy, stay comfortable, and do what you can to make things happen for your business. And if we can help, we'll be happy to do that. So I'm Professor Ken. That's all I have, and I'll see you out there.
And I'm Professor Marino. Stay creative, stay positive.
All right, all. Thanks. We'll see you real soon.
Bye-bye.